want the family to know, and I'm sure they're seeing it, but to know that how much support for them, how many prayers are out there for them right now from across the country.
Today, people from all over the country paying their final respects to Sergeant Joshua Clouse, the Cameron police officer killed in the line of duty. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday LeRae. 25 News reporter Nakea Simon live from the Bell County Expo Center this morning with details on today's services. Nakea.
Good morning, Jardine and Shoei. That's correct. The funeral service will be held here today at 3 p.m., like you said, at the Bell County Expo Center. But before we get into those details, I want to talk about the life and legacy of Sergeant Joshua Clouse and the impact he has left on our communities. Sergeant Clouse was a U.S. Army veteran and previously served with the Milam County Sheriff's Department. Since his tragic death on Wednesday, May 11th, his family has received support from across Texas. They released a statement thanking the community for the outpouring love and support. And Sergeant Clouse died doing what he loved by protecting and serving the community. The 100 Club of Central Texas was one of the organizations that immediately stood by the Clouse family to help ease this burden while they grieve their loved one.
I mean, we've received notes from people as far away as Virginia, expressing their condolences to the family. We also save those and we'll give those to the family at a later time. But, the community is behind this family. That's the first thing. Law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMT, EMS, communications operators, the first responder family has also come together, and they're all hurting too, as is the community. Nothing compared to what the family's going through, but I just want to thank them, and I just want the family to know how much love and support is out there.
The funeral service will be held at 3 p.m. on Wednesday, today at 3 p.m. at the Bell County Center in Belton. Sergeant Clouse' private burial will be at the Central Texas State Veterans Cemetery in Killeen. 25 News will be covering the funeral service and the burial throughout the day and throughout the week. If you would like to donate to the family, you can visit our website at kxxv.com. Reporting in Belton, Nakea Simon, 25 News.
Thank you so much, Nakea, for that information. Now, a benefit auction for Clouse's family is now set for next month. It's happening on June 14th at 6 p.m. at the Little River Event Center in Cameron. All proceeds will go to the family. A GoFundMe page campaign is also up and running as we speak. It's raised a little over $7,600. Now its goal is $25,000. If you'd like to help out, we have that link and information over on our website, kxxv.com.
The search continues for a man who's missing from Hubbard. Take a look at his picture here. Police are looking for 63-year-old Pedro Camacho. Last seen at his house last week. Police say he has dementia and can't communicate properly. If you see him, call the Navarro County Sheriff's Office.
Well, the city of Temple continuing to struggle with overflowing sewage after those recent storms. Now, another 100,000 gallons of sewer water spilled into Bird Creek on Monday. The same amount gallons spilled into the same creek last week. Now, another 100,000 gallons also spilled nearby Williamson Creek. The city says the water is clean because chlorine tablets are used to purify outflowing water. Crews are also out looking for debris.
Because of the procedure that we take when there is an overflow and that water is clean, there's not going to be any threat or impact to the wildlife or the residents that live in those areas.
We also want to know the city says it's working to upsize underground pipes in that area. That should be finished by next year. Well, speaking of those storms the recent storms we had this week, we haven't had too many storms. Some rains here and there, but not too bad, right?
Yeah, we're drying out today, Josh. Is that the plan?
Yeah, we're drying out today. We're drying out tomorrow, but don't get too far ahead of yourselves. More storms are going to be on the way here as we get into the weekend. Right now, there's not much going on. The live radar network quiet, and I don't anticipate anything through the morning. As we plan out your Wednesday, we'll see temperatures in the lower 70s by 10 o'clock, upper 70s by noon, and expect mid 80s later on this afternoon. With the humidity, will still feel close to 90. More storm chances are on the way this weekend, including the chance for some strong to severe storms. I'll walk you through that forecast and have a look at the 10-day coming up.
All right, see you in a bit. Groesbeck ISD is running out of federal funding. The district's Communities and Schools program is coming to an end. This is a 2-year program that provides a campus social worker who works with students and their families. And the district says their coordinators make a big difference. They're sad to see them go.
There's going to be a huge void by not having communities and schools in our classrooms. The students are going to miss out on having that special extra advocate, but I want them to know that we have wonderful counselors, wonderful administrators, and wonderful teachers that are going to do everything possible to fill in that void.
Tonight at 6, we'll hear from a family that's benefiting from this program and why they say not having it will be a devastating loss for students. 6:05 now, and Rodeo Killeen is back for the 75th year. All the fun starts Thursday and goes through Saturday at the rodeo grounds. Thursday's Military Appreciation Night. Friday, City of Killeen employees can get in free, and Saturday it's Educators Night. You can also get a free ticket by dropping off canned foods at the Niall Maxwell Chrysler Dodge dealership there in Killeen. Now to a story that is positively Central Texas. You can learn all kinds of stuff on YouTube, even how to save a life.
Yes, you can. Well, 25 News reporter Adam Schindler introduces us to a Coppers Cove 3rd grader who proves not all heroes, wear capes.
While eating lunch in his classroom, 9-year-old Bo Garcia began choking on a grape after putting far too many in his mouth.
I literally fit one by one by one by one by one because I've done this before. So I know how to do it. So then I literally and then one literally slipped back into my throat, and then I just started coughing.
That's when his friend and classmate Noah Sullivan sprung into action.
When I came over, I went right there and did this, the Heimlich. Then he started puking after a little.
Ew.
Yep.
Exactly.
Actions their school nurse says saved Bo's life.
Noah just came back there and did those 5 back blows. And the object was on the floor. The kid was fine. He was a little scared. And I thought it was amazing. I love my kids here.
The young hero knows he might not be there next time, so.
Bo, look at me. Don't do it again.
I won't, and I don't plan on doing it.
Noah says he knew what to do to save Bo's life because he saw it on YouTube. In Coppers Cove, Adam Schindler, 25 News.
Knew YouTube was good
Yeah.
for something. All
Cute
right.
those kids.
Right. All right. Well, a Houston woman got the surprise of her life when she got a hefty water bill in the mail. In about 6 minutes, we break down exactly how much the city says she owes and why her family is now fighting those charges.
But first, a child is accused of gunning down a fast food worker in North Texas. What investigators are saying that led up to this unbelievable tragedy. Hey guys, we're waking up to some changes. Feels nice and cool out there.
Yeah, and like you said, Josh, it's quiet right now.
It's quiet right now, except for the interstate. You can hear the interstate if you walk outside. I tell you that from experience. But yeah, it feels really nice outside. We have temperatures that are in the upper 50s.
Oh boy,
currently
that's
in
fun.
Waco. I advertised on Twitter that there were a couple of towns that were doing it. Waco's been able to do it before the sun came up. So 59 out there right now as you look at the Clark roofing cam. And South Waco 59 and feeling like 59 there in Waco. This is how we start off your Wednesday. Temperatures that are close to the upper 50s now. They'll be in the mid 60s by 8 o'clock, lower 70s by 10, and upper 70s by noon. We'll top out somewhere in the mid to upper 80s this afternoon. We should normally be sitting in the mid 80s. 86, got a high of 85 on the way, so can't ask for much more average weather than what we have out there right now for this time of year. The Live Radar Network showing you things are quiet here locally. We're watching a couple of thunderstorms up towards the Panhandle and a cold front that's building across the plains. That low pressure center coming out of Canada, that's going to send this front south, and eventually it'll bring the chance for strong to severe storms as we get into Friday. That severe storm potential, actually a pretty broad swath of it from Arkansas into North Texas, Central Texas, including here, and all the way out to West Texas, could be under the gun for at least some strong to severe thunderstorms. So Upper 50s out there right now, still dealing with a little bit of humidity. Now, Future Track shows you will be dry today. Watch what happens as we get into Thursday. We're quiet Thursday, but thunderstorms start to form out to the west. And by Friday, we're expecting some of those thunderstorms to form here. And again, some could be strong to severe. That chance goes through the overnight hours into the morning on Saturday, and then things will quiet down for Saturday and Sunday. We'll keep small rain chances after that because the moisture will be slow to clear, but at least the severe weather will be done then. So keeping a close eye on Friday night into Saturday morning. After that, a quieter weekend and mid-80s taking over for much of next week. After a cool weekend with highs that could be in the upper 70s.
All right, we're looking around Texas this morning. A 12-year-old in North Texas, one of two people now charged with murder after police say he killed a Sonic drive-in employee with an assault rifle. Now, this incident happened in Keene, that's south of Fort Worth, on Saturday night. Police say the boy and his uncle, 20-year-old Angel Gomez, were urinating in the parking lot. Now, that's when Matthew Davis, a Sonic employee, confronted them. Now, police say that sparked a fight, which is when the 12-year-old went back to the car, pulled out that rifle, and opened fire, hitting Davis 6 times. A family spokesperson speaking out on the senseless violence.
They are truly devastated to have lost him. The gun, when they pull the trigger, it's not going to come back.
Davis leaves behind a son in Louisiana. His family says he moved to Keene to get his life back on track after some past trouble with the law. Now, he was using the money he made at Sonic to buy his son an iPhone so they could FaceTime together.
We already know that the cost of living is a lot higher now, right? But a Houston woman is getting sticker shock over her water bill. The price, $58,000. The local water company dropped the bomb on 90-year-old Naomi Brazel last week. It's just the latest issue she's dealing with. Her son says it all started when she moved into a trailer while her home's being renovated. The first bill, $5,000, and it just keeps going up even though they cut off her water supply.
Originally, it was a default in the trailer that was no one was aware of, and it had something to do with the toilet system, and it was the water just spewing going into the sewage. When she got the first bill over $5,000, you know, that got our attention. We contacted them several times, a contractor also, and tried to get them to help adjust it.
The city says it's looking into the account and making sure their customers are only being charged for the amount of water that they actually use. Well, the showdown over the debt ceilings moving forward on Capitol Hill.
The president cutting a diplomatic trip to Asia short in an effort to reach an agreement by this week. It's now 6:15 and you're watching Good Morning Texas. It's now 6:20 as you get ready to head out the door, and here's a look at today's top stories.
Today, an appeals court set to hear arguments over an abortion pill. They'll decide whether or not the drug should be remaining available. Now, this follows a ruling from a Texas judge revoking the pill's FDA approval. But the ruling was put on hold so the appeals court can consider the case.
And the White House also slamming Republicans over a new abortion law in North Carolina. Now, the bill bans most abortions after 12 weeks of pregnancy. The state's Democratic governor vetoed the bill, but Republican lawmakers overrode that veto last night. The White House says the move makes it harder for women to get the health care they need.
The president and top lawmakers are getting closer to reaching a deal on the debt limit. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says an agreement could be happening by the end of the week. The president says they are making progress. He's cutting short his trip to Japan to continue negotiations. 6:20 and the sun is already peeking out this morning.
Yeah, but we're not out of the clear just yet, according to Josh. I was thinking that we were going to start seeing more sunshine, few clouds.
Yeah, we'll see a little bit of sunshine today. That's the good news. Enjoy it while you can. More storm chances arrive by the end of the week into the weekend. But out there right now, clear skies. Looking outside from our Clark Roofing Cam and Colleen, we're starting off in the lower 60s. So you may even need a light jacket as you're at the bus stop. Bus picking up in the lower 60s, dropping off in the mid 80s. Northeast winds at around 10 miles per hour. So short sleeves, pants, you'll need the jacket. You won't need the umbrella. That's a check mark that shouldn't be on there. You will need it later on this week, though. We'll time out when those storm chances return and that chance of severe weather coming up.
I'm John Matteries. Worried about your cat or dog wandering off and getting lost? Worry no more. I'll show you some new pet tracking devices you can buy. That story coming up.
Coming up on 6:25 now, and Apple AirTags can help you find your iPhone. But did you know they have tracking devices now for pets? Consumer reporter John Matteries looks at whether they're worth buying so you don't waste your money.
It's very easy to overspend on our cats and dogs, but if your pet sometimes wanders off, this one little purchase might bring you some peace of mind.
John Warman and his dog Hank are going camping, and John doesn't want to risk losing his best friend.
If they see a deer or something, they chase it, they might not be able to find their way back.
So he stopped by his local pet shop
because it will track 7 miles.
To ask about tracking devices. Owner Daryl Myerenke has been using one on his own collie, Patty Bear. He showed me how it clips to Patty's collar. Then he can see where the dog is anytime.
So the app shows you exactly where this collar is?
Yep. It shows that Patty Bear is right here at the store with us.
He says prices in his store vary between $50 and $150.
You can get something very simple or you can get something very complex.
Now, tracking devices are very different than microchips inserted under an animal's skin. Consumer Report says microchips rely on someone finding your pet, reading it electronically, and then contacting you. Trackers, on the other hand, show your pet's location in real time in an app or close to it.
It might tell you to go to this address, but it's next door or down the block or something like that.
CR's Scott Medint says while most trackers are accurate, they are not precision instruments and do have limitations. For the best results, he says stick with trackers that use both GPS and cellular service.
Some of the ones that don't have that are cheaper, and so people may be tempted to use them. I would say it's just not worth it.
Scott's last tip, do a few practice runs so you know how it works before it's too late.
You don't want to be like figuring the thing out when you're panicking because your dog's gone.
John Warman thinks it's worth it.
As I say, you don't need it till you need it.
And that way you don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries.
Finding out all great things about technology today.
You know, that's really helpful one right there.
Yeah.
I don't trust the dogs. I love my dog, but you know.
Technology
he'll run for it.
Is a bit more dependable.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, technology has helped someone win a Good Morning Texas mug. They entered to win.
Sure has. And today's winner is Michelle Willis. Congratulations, Michelle. We'll let you know you can pick up one of these Good Morning Texas mugs.
And if you want one too, just head to our website, kxxv.com/contest. Click the mug, give us your email, and we'll put you into the drawing for our next giveaway. And that's coming up right here tomorrow morning. First, though, we want to get you ready for the day ahead.
Yes, and one thing that you can't rely on, well, you rely on technology to get your numbers and crunch your numbers, but we talked about this. Don't Google the weather.
Yeah.
Don't YouTube the weather. Listen to my man Josh here
My
all the
iPhone
way.
is already wrong today, so I
Is
just
it
opened it up. It's instantly wrong.
It is always wrong.
It's horrible.
Way off.
That's why we give you a concise forecast here that tells you how to plan your day, and that's what we're going to do right now. Let's take you outside. Clark Roofing Cam in South Waco giving you upper 50s out there currently. It is a little cool. You may need a light jacket as you're walking out. Don't get used to it. Mid-80s are coming in this afternoon. It'll feel like the upper 80s when you factor in some of that humidity. Live Radar Network, quiet right now. Next storm system, it's up in Canada. As that gets closer to us, it will produce the chance for strong to severe storms starting Friday, and that will bring the chance for some stronger ones that could impact your Friday evening. Now, today's quiet, tomorrow's quiet, but there we go. By Friday afternoon and evening, that potential for thunderstorms is there. We'll take it through the overnight, and then we're clearing out for the weekend. We'll keep small chances around for the weekend, but I think most of us miss out on that. And temperatures will take a dip too. Upper 70s for Saturday and Sunday. It's warming back up next week. Small rain chances and temperatures back in the mid-80s going through much of next week.
iPhone begs to differ, but we'll take your word for it.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
I want the family to know, and I'm sure they're seeing it, but to know that how much support for them, how many prayers are out there for them right now from across the country.
Today, people from all over will be paying their final respects to Sergeant Joshua Clouse, the Kemper police officer killed in the line of duty. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Sharday LeRae. 25 News reporter Nakea Simon live from the Bell County Expo Center this morning with details on today's services. Good morning, Nakea.
Good morning, Joey and Sade. That's correct. His funeral service will be happening this afternoon today, like you said, at the Bell County Expo Center. But before we get into those details, I want to talk about the life and legacy of Sergeant Joshua Clouse and the impact he has left on this community. Sergeant Clouse was a U.S. Army veteran and previously served with the Milam County Sheriff's Department. Since his tragic death on Wednesday, May 11th, his family has received support from across Texas. They released a statement thanking the community for the outpouring of love and support. And Sergeant Clouse died doing what he loved by protecting and serving the community. The 100 Club of Central Texas was one of the organizations that immediately stood by the Clouse family to help ease this burden while they grieved their loved one.
I mean, we've received notes from people as far away as Virginia, expressing their condolences to the family. We also save those and we'll give those to the family at a later time. But, the community is behind this family. That's the first thing. Law enforcement officers, firefighters, EMT, EMS, communications operators, the first responder family has also come together and they're all hurting too, as is the community. Nothing compared to what the family's going through, but I just want to thank them and I just want the family to know how much love and support is out there.
The funeral services will be held at 3 p.m. today at the Bell County Expo Center here in Belton. Sergeant Clouse's private burial will be at the Central Texas State Veterans Cemetery in Killeen. 25 News will continue to cover this funeral service today. I'll be back here in midday, so keep up with us. And if you would like to donate to the family, you can visit our website at kxxv.com. Reporting in Belton, Nakea Simon, 25 News.
Alrighty, thank you, Nakea, for that information. Now, a benefit auction for Clouse's family is now set for next month. It's happening on June 14th at 6 p.m. at the Little River Event Center, and that's in Cameron. All proceeds will go towards the family. A GoFundMe campaign is also up and running as we speak. It's already raised a little over $7,600. Now, their goal is $25,000. If you'd like to help out, we have all that information over on our website, kxxv.com.
6:34 now. The search continues for a missing man from Hubbard. Take a look at his picture here. Police looking for 63-year-old Pedro Camacho, last seen at his house last week. Police say he has dementia and can't communicate properly. If you do see him, call the Navarro County Sheriff's Office. Meanwhile, the city of Temple still dealing with a messy situation. Another 100,000 gallons of sewer water spilling into Bird Creek Monday. The same thing happened last week in both Bird Creek and nearby Williamson Creek. The city says the water is clean because they're using chlorine tablets to purify it. Crews are looking for debris.
Because of the procedure that we take when there is an overflow and that water is clean, there's not going to be any threat or impact to the wildlife or the residents that live in those areas.
Well, the city says they're working to install bigger pipes and they should be done with that by next year. All right, time for another check on your weather.
And unfortunately, we are going to get more storms soon, but right now it's quiet out there, right, Josh?
Yeah, enjoy the day while we have it. A nice day out there right now. A little cool this morning, too. Lower 60s as you're waking up. 59 now in Waco, 60 in Meridian, 59 in Land Passes. Low to mid 60s from Killeen over towards Temple. And we will see temperatures continue to climb here as we go through the day. We'll see them get up into the 80s later on this afternoon. And I am expecting more storm chances to work in late this week into the weekend, including the chance for some strong to severe storms. I'll walk you through the timing on that coming up.
Well, federal funding running out for Groesbeck ISD with the district's Communities in Schools program is coming to an end. The two-year program brings in a campus social worker who works with students and their families. The district saying their CIS coordinators have made a big difference, and they're sad to see the program end.
There's going to be a huge void by not having communities and schools in our classrooms. The students are going to miss out on having that special extra advocate, but I want them to know that we have wonderful counselors, wonderful administrators, and wonderful teachers that are going to do everything possible to fill in that void.
Be sure to tune in tonight at 6, where we'll hear from a family who's been helped by this program and why they say its end will be a devastating loss for other students.
Throughout From Texas this morning, Houston ISD teachers are frustrated after their first meeting with the TEA commissioner. Last night's meeting, the first that those teachers have formally met with the commissioner, Mike Morath, since the agency's takeover of the district in March. They're calling the meeting a dog and pony show.
People were asking about teacher pay. People were asking about what interventions were going to take place from the state. And again, most of those questions weren't answered. It was going to be up to the Board of Managers.
We got the typical, it's up to the Board of Managers, it's up to the superintendent. Who is the superintendent? I haven't decided.
The commissioner says he'll have a new superintendent in place around June 1st, but won't reveal who that is until then.
Well, Governor Greg Abbott is asking for more resources to beef up security at the border. In about 5 minutes, we break down what states are willing to offer help and what resources are headed to Texas.
But first, a controversial new bill making its way through the state legislature, how it would limit the power of local governments. Back in 2 minutes. Welcome back, 6:40 here, and it is Hump Day, everybody. Halfway there.
Yes, we are halfway there. I don't know what else to say to that, but we're halfway there. Happy Hump Day, everyone.
That's why they call it Hump Day, because
Yeah.
you're getting over the
Over that
hump.
hump.
Now it's downhill from
Is
here,
that
right?
why they call it?
Yes.
No, I'm joking. Most people
Okay.
think it's literally from
You
the
had Joey
commercial where
going.
the camel is Hump Day. I knew that, Joey.
Okay, just checking.
And my chair is sinking again. Okay, Josh, take it away.
Yeah, so it's setting up to be a warm one out there today. We're halfway through the work week, as we mentioned. We get greeted by a nice little start to the morning out there. Upper 50s, lower 60s as you're starting off your Wednesday morning here. 59 in Waco, 61 Temple, 59 also in Lampasas. Now, by afternoon, be warned, it is going to turn warm quickly. Mid-80s this afternoon, 85 in Evance, 87 in Lampasas. Waco, you'll be at 85, 86 in Salado, Hillsborough at 83, Marlin at 84. Some of our eastern counties get into the lower 80s, 82 Buffalo and Centerville, also Mejia, and into the Brazos Valley, mid-80s taking over as well. We're quiet today. The Live Radar Network showing you there's just nothing going on across the Lone Star State. We will watch for thunderstorms out to the west towards the Panhandle, but none of those are going to impact us. There are some changes on the way, though. Our next little storm system is coming across the Rocky Mountains there. You can see that low in Canada. As that dives to the south, the cold front will dive south with it. And by the time we get into Friday, as that cold front nears us, we'll be able to spark off some thunderstorms, and some of them could be strong to severe. This little yellow area is showing you where that's possible from Little Rock down through our area and out into West Texas. The next 2 days, though, are going to be quiet. Thunderstorms will get close on Thursday. I can't rule out some of them trying to work into our northwestern counties, but by Friday, that's where our next best chance of storms comes in. We'll watch for thunderstorms to fire in the afternoon and evening, some of them lasting through the overnight hours, and we may even have some residual moisture Saturday and Sunday. Moisture will be slow to clear, so we'll leave some small rain chances going through much of next week. It's also going to be warm and humid eventually as well. Upper 70s is a nice little break we get from that front, though, and then we're back in the mid-80s for much of next week. Those scattered storm or isolated storm chances, rather, still holding on.
All right, thanks, Josh. From the state capitol now, senators supporting a bill that would limit the power of local governments. This bill prevents city and county governments from creating regulations that go against state laws. Supporters say that this pushes back against local governments overstepping their authority. But opponents say it will keep local leaders from enforcing basic regulations.
Governor Greg Abbott asking his fellow governors for help securing the southern border. The Tribune reports he made that request in a letter on Tuesday. Florida's governor saying he's prepared to commit 1,100 National Guard troops and police. He's also sending planes, boats, and drones. Now, Idaho's governor also offering support from state troopers.
We're inching closer to that crucial deadline to avoid hitting the debt ceiling.
In about 2 minutes, are lawmakers any closer to reaching a deal? Well, we've got the latest from Capitol Hill after this. President Biden is expected to be in Japan today in order to attend the G7 summit.
But he is planning his short trip. He's going to cut it short, I should say, to deal with the debt ceiling crisis. John Lawrence has the latest.
There's a little bit of cautious optimism swirling over Washington, D.C.
It's looking much better. No, you see it.
President Joe Biden, in a statement Tuesday, said while more work remains, There is a path to a responsible bipartisan budget agreement on the U.S. debt ceiling crisis.
We don't have much time, but default is just the worst alternative.
This potential bridge comes after a months-long standoff where the White House wanted the debt ceiling raised without strings attached.
There's things we agree and disagree, but I think we could find common ground, especially when you look at the Limit, Save, Grow bill.
House Republicans offered a $1.5 trillion boost to the debt limit, but with cuts to some domestic programs.
We can't default on the country's debt. But having said that, I think we should seize this opportunity to talk about how we can reduce the rate of growth of spending and debt accumulation.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says if Congress doesn't raise the debt limit, the U.S. could default as soon as June 1st. And some say if that happens,
it's not hard to see us definitely going into recession instead of just possibly going into recession. It's not hard to see markets crater by substantial double-digit amounts.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen will meet with the CEOs from the major banks Thursday, and they'll be talking about the debt ceiling and the banking crisis. And in 2 minutes here, a look ahead at today's final farewell for a Cameron police officer killed in the line of duty.
And how you can help support the family he leaves behind.
And a quiet day today, but more storm chances working in for the end of the week. I'll have that forecast for you coming up.
The playoffs continue for high school baseball as the Bosqueville Bulldogs get ready for Riesel in the third round. Now, the Bulldogs are coming off of beating Rio Vista in the second round. It was a sweep as they won Game 1 8-3 and then Game 2 6-4 to be crowned area champions. So far in this postseason, Bosqueville has yet to be on the losing side of the scoreboard. This is a unique team as the Bulldogs have a lot of senior leadership, but they also have a bright future as they do have freshmen starting on this squad. With the regional quarterfinals happening today, the Bulldogs know that Riesel is a tough obstacle, but they have a young team that is laser focused.
Oh, this team has grown. You know, we were faced with some adversity early on, but we designed the schedule to be really tough. And I was going through the schedule earlier today, and I think every team we played in non-district is still in the playoffs or got beat last week. So our guys are used to playing competitive baseball. The last few years, we've gone really deep in the playoffs both years, and with all that returning adds up, and guys are able to. No situation's too big for them.
Our team's it's like half seniors and then half pretty young. And our team's kind of just grown together. The freshmen, sophomores have matured a lot, and we've all just come together as one team, and we're playing pretty well right now, so hopefully we can keep on playing for a while.
We know that Riesel's a great team. They got good arms, they can hit, and they can field, and knowing that we haven't lost, it's huge for us. We have a lot of confidence going into it.
First pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m., and this series will be played at McLennan Community College. Well, moving on to Baylor, as the Bears were in action against the Tarleton Texans for baseball. Baylor had lost 5 straight games, with 3 of them being against TCU just last week, and they looked to end that streak. Well, looking at the final score, Baylor comes away with the win 4-2. Baylor took advantage early in the game as the Bears hit a 3-run homer. They took the lead and never looked back. The Bears avenged the loss they had against the Texans back in April. And up next for Baylor is that they return home to take on the Roadrunners in a 3-game series, and that series starts on Thursday. All right, that's going to be it for sports. Back to you at the desk.
All right, thank you, sir. We're going to move on to the weather down this morning.
Yeah, for those maybe practicing outside today, how's it going to be looking, Josh?
Heck of a day to do that. We have temperatures that are in the lower 60s out there now, and this afternoon they'll be in the mid-80s with that dry air hanging around. You can see the sunshine out there right now. 59 in Waco, 61 Temple, 63 currently in Killeen, and this is where we start the day. We'll be in the lower 70s by 10 o'clock, upper 70s by noon, and this afternoon getting into the mid-80s. There will still be that typical light humidity out there. Upper 80s is what it's going to feel like. The humidity is going to increase here to end the week, though, and we're bringing back storm chances. I'll time those out for you coming up.
I want the family to know, and I'm sure they're seeing it, but to know that how much support for them, how many prayers are out there for them right now from across the country.
Today, people from all over the country paying their final respects to Sergeant Joshua Clouse, the Cameron police officer killed in the line of duty.
And 25 News reporter Nakea Simon live from the Bell County Expo Center this morning with details on today's services. Good morning, Nakea.
Good morning, Sade and Joey. That's correct. The funeral service will be held this afternoon at the Bell County Expo Center, where I'm standing here now. Sergeant Clouse' tragic death was on Wednesday, May 11th. His family received support from across Texas. They released a statement thanking the community for the outpouring of love and support. The 100 Club of Central Texas was one of the organizations that immediately stood by the Clouse family to help ease this burden while they grieve their loved one. The funeral service will be held at 3 p.m. today, again at the Bell County Expo Center here in Belton. Sergeant Clouse' private burial will be at the Central Texas State Veterans Cemetery in Killeen. Coming up on midday and throughout the day on 25 News, we'll continue to cover his funeral service today. The Bell County Sheriff's Department is already going inside to prepare for incoming guests. Reporting in Belton, Nakea Simon, 25 News.
Thanks, Nakea. And there is going to be an auction next month to help support the Clouse family. That's happening June 14th at 6 p.m. at the Little River Event Center in Cameron. All proceeds go to the family. There's also a GoFundMe campaign. So far, they've raised more than $7,600. The goal is $25,000. We've got a link to that on our website, kxxv.com.
And federal funding running out for Groesbeck ISD. With it, the district's Communities and Schools program is coming to an end. Now, that 2-year program brings in a campus social worker who works with students and their families. The district saying their CIS coordinators have made a huge difference, and they're sad to see the program end.
There's going to be a huge void by not having communities and schools in our classrooms. The students are going to miss out on having that special extra advocate, but I want them to know that we have wonderful counselors, wonderful administrators, and wonderful teachers that are going to do everything possible to fill in that void.
Tonight at 6, we'll hear from a family who's been helped by this program and why they say its end will be a devastating loss for other students.
5:10, the top of the hour, and these are the top stories we're following.
The search continues for a missing man from Hubbard. Take a look at this picture on your screen. Police are looking for 63-year-old Pedro Camacho. Last seen at his house last week. Police say he has dementia and can't communicate properly. So if you see him, please call the county sheriff's office.
The city of Temple struggling to deal with this overflowing sewage problem after recent storms. Another 100,000 gallons of sewer water spilling into Bird Creek Monday. They had the same problem last week at the same spot and also at nearby Williamson Creek. The city telling us they're using chlorine tablets to clean up the water. All right, might be a little dry now, but the rain is not going to say see you later for too long.
The rain is not going away.
Yeah, it's not. It is for today, but as we get into the end of the week, it's coming back. Upper 50s, lower 60s out there currently. You may even need a light jacket with the sun coming up. It'll heat up quickly, though, with the dry air in place. There's nothing on the Live Radar Network. Next storm system is coming down south out of Canada. It'll be near us by Friday, and that's when we'll bring the chance for severe thunderstorms, not only here, but from Arkansas down into West Texas as well. We'll start to see that potential build later on as we get into Friday afternoon. So today's dry. We get the south winds coming back overnight. That'll bring back more warm and humid air for Thursday. And then as we get into Friday afternoon and evening, that's when we'll have to watch for thunderstorms to fire. And again, some of these could be strong to severe. I think hail and wind will be the main threats, though an isolated tornado can't be ruled out. We'll keep those thunderstorm chances overnight and even have some lingering showers possible through the weekend. But overall, the weekend will be cooler and likely quieter. Moisture will be slow to clear, so we'll leave little scattered to isolated rain chances in place through the middle of next week. So put it all together here in your 10-day forecast. We'll call for 85 today, 87 tomorrow, 89 on Friday. 60% chance of storms on Friday. After that, we're in the upper 70s Saturday and Sunday. And then next week, that warm, muggy air works back in along with that daily isolated storm chance. So the rain not over yet, but we get a nice break today.
Okay, sounds good. And GMA is coming up next.
We'll see you right back here on 25 News midday. Have a good one.